Good morning, everyone. It's a little bit early, I must say, but it's good to be here. I forget when the last stream was, but it's been quite long, actually, I guess, compared to like the pace of the series normally. But anyhow, we are back. Back in black. Back to back. Yeah. Have I got this? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so sometimes I think with a game, it's rather peculiar. Because sometimes it does seem as if you have almost like a recalibration or recalculation, sorry. So it's like I could swear that I couldn't make it here to Destiny 12 days before, but apparently 12 days now. So I'm going to choose to embrace this reality. And we're going to go with that. We are sending forces from the Caucasus. We're sending forces down here to the Balkans. We're going to be pushing down here too. I decided to go ahead and order this cavalry over here on evade combat. I just try and be a pain in the backside. It is useful to have that information here to know where the enemy is. We do have a great build-up of Bulgarians and Ottomans over here. So we'll probably push on over here soon enough. I just need that cohesion to recover. On the Western Front, we do have a great deal of forces moving out. But you might be thinking, oh, hang on. What's this? Ooh. Where have we seen these armies come from? And I decided to go ahead and actually take these two armies over here. So I'm taking the army of Von Kluck and Hindenburg. And I am going to go ahead and have them sent to the west. The idea is going to be have them based out here at Koblenz for the time being. And then what we'll do is, once the winter dies off, once we see the opening up of the campaign season, then we're going to go ahead and actually pursue a campaign here against the French, against the Western Entente pretty vigorously if I can. And the idea is we'll launch an attack across over here into Longwy or something like that, yeah, but pretty much Longwy is the key to this. The same turn that we do that, we occupy Luxembourg. And then in theory I can have these troops cross via rail and merge over here very quickly. And the plan is, well, hopefully he's not going to be aware that we have said troops. We did have both spies actually arrested or even assassinated, who knows. Hey Dylan, good to have you, my man. I'll midday. What about you, base man, dude? Yeah, so that's the idea there. That we can have these forces push on through. I do have fighter battalions that could be moved to the front. Oh, I do have some artillery units I didn't actually realise I had there. So, let's go ahead and move an artillery there. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is move the fighter battalions to the front when we do go for that. I'd rather keep them there. I don't want to have an ongoing battle if I can avoid it. We're moving the High Seas Fleet to the coast. I do have a Dutch fleet over here, actually. And frankly, it would be quite a good idea to have the Dutch just escort the German transports there, really. German and Dutch transports. And then at least I can take forces back over here if needs be. It's 47 days before we arrive over here in Finland, but once they do arrive, they can rail down here. We do have the ongoing siege of Helsinki. And that's going to be rather rough. But technically, I think a size 3 produces supply. Maybe not a lot. Yes, maybe it looks like sent supply there too. So it's like the slightest amount of supply. Oh, but we do actually have a decent amount of supply stockpiled over here at Abo, or Ibo. So that's going to help out then. I have a supply train over here, actually. I didn't realise I need to have that sent back immediately. That would have been useful to know about. I believe I do have a militia unit in here. Oh, there's a militia unit. Okay. You sent over there. Maybe a division could remain behind. Alright, in fact, no, the militia unit can stay here then. It's a little bit more important to guard the port than it is to guard the fortress over here. Salo has nothing there to offer to us, and if we can march to Finland and rail down, then it's not even going to matter at any point then. We do have one letter over here of Scandinavia. He's just obviously here to take control of the rail lines. Also gives us a good opportunity to view what is coming before us too. It's tempting to actually go ahead and move forward here and cut the rails, but frankly, I need to take control of this so he can't just rail back in here. I mean, he can't do so now because there's the rails broken, but I don't want it to be a situation where he could move a force here, kick us out, repair the rail lines, and then have a much larger force come in much closer. It's all about proximity, baby. But things are going well enough. We do have our cavalry repairing the rail lines here, and then they'll move on over here, I believe, or even just deeper into Russia. These guys moving in over here. Same thing over this way, trying to cause a bit of a hassle. Honestly, if I can get Odessa, that's going to be really good. I am looking forward to when we do begin our second season, basically, of End All Wars. And we'll have to figure out how we can address any issues that we had in this campaign and go forward. We do have the launching of a Dutch Africa Corps. I decided to go ahead and actually reinforce it by placing additional men in there. And I am hoping that is going to be a worthwhile decision. I figured taking additional supply, but taking the additional men too is probably worthwhile. It's kind of like a make or break here, and I need to land. I was going to reinforce this position, but I'm actually not going to do that now. I do have forces on the way here ultimately, but they're not due to arrive for some time. We do have a build-up of supply moving up over here. So, frankly, I do have a decent amount of supply, and I could build a second depot. It would be a lot of supply expenditure, and a lot of supply cart expenditure, but it would be worthwhile. One would presume. These armies have been strengthened with artillery. Obviously, they do have a fair amount of artillery over here, as they are defending a pretty pivotal position. But yeah, it's going to look pretty good. The good news is once we actually do have the new armies in the west, or the eastern armies in the west, maybe we can look at the commands over there and figure things out. But yeah, we're preparing to then drive on through into the... well, into France, really. And ideally onto Paris. It is a good game. It is pretty fun. I would very much agree. Over here, we're moving on, taking control of the rail lines. I'm going to go ahead and leave this cavalry here, so we can actually just, yeah, move on forward. And this force is moving on closer to this position here. I'm trying to position myself into a position where I can threaten... I feel like I may take these Jaegers. I don't know. Jaegers are really good, like too good, really. Let me go ahead and take the division, have that moved in there. Alright. This corps is not likely to be able to be moved via rail, but we'll see. But I believe I may have it moved down here. Oh, I can have it moved via rail. Okay, so we'll have it moved via rail, but it's not going to arrive there anytime soon, but we'll take care of that. I'm just surrounding these Serbians over here. They're pretty much done at this point. And we do have the mountain troops of the Germans headed down this way towards Sarajevo. And we'll retake Sarajevo. So the Russians are at 48% rebel alignment. We'll be going up to that soon. We still have level 3 tech on people, which is good. And let me see. I could fund aviation, U-boat, or chemical, but I'm going to resist that. I could declare, well, I could incite the Eastern Horizon here, or help to actually support the Eastern Horizon. But I'm going to hold off on that. I'd rather do that at the moment we actually launch our offensive. The idea being that, well, if we do that, it's fairly likely... Right, I'm going to go ahead and take the supply here and have it moved down to the German front. Yeah, to the Western front. Yes, if we go ahead and do that, I'd like to do so in a manner where I can make the... well, have the greatest impact. And that's going to come about from timing. Alright, so we'll have him move, and then I'll move him by rail. So we'll go forward with that. I do have everybody saving here. And it'll be interesting what happens. I think would it be in winter, these turns are relatively short, as there's not a tremendous amount that can happen. But we will have combat, presumably in Greece. Or maybe technically in Serbia, moving into Greece. I guess it'd be like Macedonia. I don't know, I guess we'll see. I don't think we're going to be seeing conflict on the Western Front, but we are reinforcing the Western Front, which is good. And especially as we do have the armies arriving from the east. It is a judgment call, and I did actually contemplate sending pretty much the entire German strength from the east to the west. Alright, so he's still reinforcing there. Well, we haven't seen the British forces as of yet. Right, I see my forces there. He may actually be able to see them leave. Same forces there. Okay. Is he withdrawing? It looks like he is. Okay, so he caught my cavalry, which is not too surprising. They're withdrawing. So we can see the Russians over here. So just as he's seen us, we've seen him. Is he moving to the north there? Cavalry, anyway. French are moving over here. And the British down here, too. Excuse me. Alright, so at least we do last here, then. Inflict 13,000 casualties, which is pretty good, actually. Okay. The cavalry is gone there, but that's not too much of a problem. Right, hill. Yeah, we're already on day 9 here, so these turns are very quick. Looks like he's moved some more supply to Valamazel. I did destroy the depot I had there originally. I do see the Russian force over here. I can't imagine it's actually 14 power. So he has moved forces there, but we did manage to get the army across over to Odessa, so that's worked out. Yeah, okay. That's good timing for us then, actually. Yeah. Eugene von Osterreich over there. So not as powerful as the army would normally be, due to the fact that it did move across there, but it arrived just in time, in fact. Yeah, just in time. Obviously, we do have a tremendous amount of artillery here. 1,050 guns to 266. So there's 14,900 casualties for us, 10,000 there for Brusilov. But I'm happy that it should mean that we secure Odessa. In the following turns, that is, anyway. But I do have control now of the area around Odessa, which means I can have the super heavy guns railed out there. Oh, so we do see the Austrians engaging here. With Bulgarian support. Yep, there we are. So we have the Battle of Doran. We do achieve a victory here against the French Corps. Frankly, this French Corps is a little bit outnumbered. Nearly 10 times. There's quite a lot here coming down upon them through the mountain passes. And again, it's well equipped with heavy artillery. The French are good troops, but they are most certainly outnumbered. The terrain was in their favour, the weather was in their favour, but they were just tremendously outnumbered. Yeah. So, again, winter turns do tend to be very quick. Usually pretty rapid fire. We still have some important events take place here today. That being, well, our forces do achieve a victory outside Odessa. Okay, let's see. So war weariness, and I did release some fortress guns. Oh, so we can see that the winter's taken hold down here, but we have another Austrian army too. Yeah. They've got a little bit of excess support there. Supply is obviously a bit of an issue down here, but frankly, if I can just push on now, it is well worth doing so. And I do have this army which is actually active here, so what I could potentially do then is... let's see... 14 days they could apparently be here, so we'll go with that then. So they would be there in a day. The question is, do I move this force forward? I may have them just hold position and just recover cohesion, in fact. So we'll do that. Okay. Yep. Now these forces will take a little bit of time to get over here, but he did have that core pushed back. It may have been pushed back over here, or it may have been pushed back further. I didn't quite see, actually. It's certainly not been destroyed at any rate. I do have Zeppelins and aircraft moving in over here, so we'll have some additional reconnaissance coming in, which will be handy. I did actually... seems I accidentally moved those assets out there. That must have been a misclick there. So we see Russians over here. I can't imagine they're actually terribly strong. Right, a cavalry over here then. Okay. Yeah, that cavalry has recovered, which is nice. I also do have a little bit of supply there now. And this position is a little under strength, so I think what I'll go ahead and do is actually transfer this out here. We've destroyed the rails over here, actually, so that does buy us a bit of a buffer space. What I can do is I can move that cavalry unit down here, just to take up position there. I just want to make sure that nothing can be just taken from us easily. We've passed the 10,000 victory point mark there. Ah, so we do see some British regulars out here. The Dutch are due to land here now. 4 days. I don't know. I think we have to go for it. He's likely to be able to get a force out here, but we'd have to really hope. I don't know. Maybe there's not anything close enough that can arrive quickly enough. But we'll see about that. His forces out here. I'm not too sure how they'll be doing in the desert. I do have the aircraft over here, but they're not... I haven't gained that much information as of yet. I do have the supply units over here, so I certainly have enough now to... I can actually build another depot here, which is very good. So I'm just waiting the other forces to arrive, and then honestly, once we can push forward, then that'll be quite good. So things are definitely going our way, really. Yeah. I do have new leaders that have arrived over here. I just need to have them distributed. Could see our glorious amounts of heavy artillery over here then. Whoops. Okay. Oh, it looks as if he has abandoned this position then at Valdemoiselle. Does make sense. Well, we'll see how the Dutch Gambit goes. I love the fact it's called the Dutch Gambit, but we'll see. We'll see, frankly. Oh, good, I can at least... Oh, actually... Ah, there we are, okay. So I can at least put them in together there, so at least we'll get the best we can get there. We do have a colonial leader there, actually, so technically that could help. Admire commander. He's actually pretty good, or relatively good, as a free offensive commander. So we'll see, there's only some regulars. I've got to hope that they could make it. Got to hope they could make it. I can at least tell them to... engage. Hopefully lend some naval fire support. It's not much, but at least it could make a difference. Building up cavalry over here. Yeah, that cavalry is now available. So I can have that move down there. And they move actually pretty quick. 29 days it arrived there, okay. I'd really want to go to another position first. That's a little closer. So maybe here 16 days. And then they can march down here. So you see the British over here, and the thing is, yeah, there's the Indian detachment over here then, which is interesting. I don't know, maybe he doesn't have a time. I can't imagine he'd have a time, but we'll see about that. We still have Kuwait over here, which is good. It denies him a little bit of whatever could be here, so that's handy. But he's trying to make inroads over here into Mesopotamia. Yeah, I was just saying, the worst case scenario was an expensive landing exercise, yeah. I mean, it would have been nice had they only had a day left to land, but it is what it is. Moving those munitions there to Constantinople, Istanbul, basically. Yeah, there we are. Finally have some munitions being recovered there. Lovely. I think I should probably just have these munitions moved out. Perhaps we'll have them sent towards Odessa. Right, so we do have the army here. We've got 92% control here, which is very good. So, I can go ahead and merge these back together then, rebuild the army. I am a little bit low on supply, but at least I do have a depot here. That is actually not very full right now, but will be in time. There's a lot of Romanians over here, but not a lot of Romanian commanders. So see, they pulled his forces back over here. I think this is where he's rebuilding that army that did manage to make it back. I'm building up control here, so I've got 24% control over here, which is good, actually. Repair the rail line, we're going to keep that cavalry there. Yeah, we've got a couple forces over here that I need to reorganize. Yeah, it just needs a bit of reorganization there. Oh, he's a mountaineer. Ah, does have that. Okay, I see. Okay. These forces just need to be reorganized. But yeah, we're starting to build up men here so we can push on forward. I could push on this cavalry soon enough. And once I can, then we can actually have that sorted. We'll take a look at the Russian situation then. They were... Ooh, he's actually recovered that. Interesting, so the concessions there have dropped. Sorry, the rebel alignment has dropped. He's pulled off something there. What's he pulled off? Oh, hang on, we're finally seeing Western Entente diplomats now. So he's fighting me in Greece, and we've actually had a loss of influence there. Interesting. Ah, there we go. So the outrage of the Atlantic blockade has bolstered morale in Germany. Is that twice? No, just the once there. Interesting. I wonder what's gone on there. I assume this is down here. Yes. No. Where was this? It can't have been my ships. I don't think we had our ships in any position of danger. So I'm not too sure there. But anyway, we'll go ahead and check on Russian national morale. Oh, fuck. Okay. Is that a bug? I'm not sure what's happened here. Alright, let me try and figure out what's going on here. Yeah, that's not a lot of national morale. Yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe that's a bug. That's got to be a bug, right? I don't understand. I don't have any messages here. That must be some kind of bug. I know that one cost you a lot of national morale. That cost you 5 national morale. But even then, he had enough national morale, didn't he? Let me just go ahead and check that. That must be some kind of bug, surely. Okay. I don't know what's happened there. I don't know. Now, I don't know. Maybe there's been some sort of event. I've seen 3 things over here. War weariness. Everybody has the war weariness, though. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened there. I would have to ask Plumber what he sees on his side. As far as I can tell, the Russians are still in the war, so I'm not sure. I don't know what would have pushed them. I don't think they had a real big push this turn. So I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. Anybody's guess on that one. Right, so we do have our army moving over here. 8 days. We'll go ahead and have them moved over here 9 days. And then we will have the super heavy guns there. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of treat that as a bug there, really. How you doing that, Arthur? Good to ask you. Well, we're kind of dealing with like what I think must be a bug. It's saying that the Russians have 0 morale, but I'm not too sure about that. He did play a change government, but he would still have national morale enough, so I'm not sure about that. That's got to be some kind of bug. Or maybe there was like some sort of event that we can't see. Maybe an event for Russia, I'm not sure. So as far as I can tell, as far as I can see, I don't have anything that confirms anything of that nature. So I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to find out. Yeah. We still have our forces moving across via rail, so obviously we do have a lot of pressure on the rail lines today. Anyway, as far as I'm aware, the Russians are still in the war. I expected them to be exiting the war, but not right now. I'm sure Plum will be able to inform us. And if it is a bug, then that's a bit of a shame. Well, more than just a bit of a shame. I didn't realise I had some more artillery over here. Yeah, it must be a bug. Must be a bug. Because we saw Russian actions this turn. I'm not aware of anything... I mean, I'm not obviously... I'm not very well informed on the Russian game. I've really played just Central Powers. But I can't see there being anything... I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I'll ask Plumber and then find out. Right, we're moving up our cavalry. Frankly, I don't know if I want to move this cavalry to the front. Maybe better to have it moved elsewhere. But then again, no, it doesn't really hurt all that much. I might as well have it... I don't know. I might as well have it moved there. If I have a couple more calls on the front line, that's not too scary. Also more artillery over here. But I can go ahead and have things moved around then as I would prefer. Yeah, I think we're all going to be quite interested to figure out what's going on then, basically. We've raised so much cavalry because, frankly, I'm interested to see what we can do with it, really. They do have a slightly smaller frontage than infantry. They're also nimble, so how that makes a difference is, for example, if I select this stack here. Now, sometimes it tells you. I think it tells you, I think it shows it a little bit better over here in Finland. Now, if I take this here, maybe you have to be in a certain map mode or something. But it tells you, like, so for example here, number of days to enter this region, okay. I think, I don't know, I can't remember, it told me somewhere, I can't remember where it went. How you doing there, Samsy? Good to have you, my man. We're kind of dealing with a bug at the moment, so it looks like the Russians are down to 0 morale, but I can't say that's right now. So we're just going to continue and just assume that... Why are they heading there? They should be heading there. I'm just going to assume that to be false. A false flag operation there. Apparently they're 51 days. They're going to be moving their asses. They'll eventually get there. We have one letter over here building up our control here. The siege of Helsinki continues. Have our supply moved? Yeah, so the Dutch will arrive here soon enough. 4 days they'll arrive there. Have to hope for the best there. Because I really do need the Suez. I really need that. It's apparently a unit, but I don't know. We'll see what happens there. It was identified to me as a transport. It's worth taking the risk anyhow. If it puts the British in a difficult position, then that's okay. Right. So... Oh, right, there we are. So we do have artillery and infantry here that are without leaders. So we'll address that situation in the near future. I do have this artillery here, which I'll go ahead and move in here. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is strip out the militia and replace it with artillery. like so. Oops. I know we're due to achieve victory on the Eastern Front, but I don't think we're due to achieve it right now. That would be rather odd. Yes, the game is on Steam. It's been I think it's on Steam. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on Steam. I mean, I'm playing on Steam, so I guess it is on Steam. Yeah, so there you go. If you do want to blow off some steam, you can go ahead and play To End All Wars. It's a good game. Right, so I do have the artillery there. That does make for a full stack army. Okay. So we have our commanders there. What I need to do then is see if I have any activated. Okay, so I've got one here can be a corps commander. Two there can be a corps commander, which is not too bad. I do have our cavalry. I may have the cavalry moved elsewhere rather than here to the front, but we'll see about that. So we are preparing, obviously, for the offensive to take place over here. Now, the French tech-wise, they're nearly at level 3 infantry. They're not far off level 3 artillery. But I'm hoping that we'll be able to get a start on them. Alright. It is interesting. We have been moved back over here, so I think the Entente did manage something. Not really making any gains over there. Serbia is pretty much gone. I do have a fair amount of forces over here that we need to reorganize properly. Yes, I actually do have a fair few corps in here. So Belgrade is pretty heavily occupied. Indeed. Right. So yeah, we're just moving through Serbia, just occupying the rest of Serbia. I do have my forces over here. Now, these guys are not active right now, so it will take them longer to arrive. So maybe it is better to move over to this position via rail. I'll be there in 16 days, so I don't know, actually. I guess we'll just move over here to Bosnia. 15 days, okay. So 15 days will be there. Yeah, I know, right. Yeah, there's quite a lot of Bulgarians and Austrians moving down this way. No Romanians here in this enterprise. But yeah, we can see that they do have ships over here, but I'm hoping I have a chance to get the Dutch landed. Either way, I think things are looking okay. I'm not too sure why I can't seem to capture that. This is just a leader, so I decided to move the men away. But I'm trying to capture that supply, and it's not having it, is it? Right, we'll repair the rail lines over here, so I could either move over... I could move over here, actually, and that's probably not a terrible idea. I think I'll go that way. Capture the town, and then just build up our control here so I can connect up the rail lines. I do see Russian forces around here. We do see a regular unit here. We did see... This is a larger corps over here, so... But Falkenhayn's nearby, so what I could maybe do is move Falkenhayn's army over here, or maybe move a second corps over there. I think we certainly do have strength. Also, we have moved strength away. We do have just this army over here. Yes, the music is from Hearts of Iron 2, actually, predominantly. I think maybe some Hearts of Iron 3. I could probably grab some Hearts of Iron 4 tracks and put them in there. They usually work. But, yes, we do have our cores over here. Excuse me. Importantly, I do have 59% control over here. So we are trying to push on forward. He could obviously move via rail. So I do have to be careful of that, but he's looking to check my advance here. He's cut the rail line here. Obviously, we cut the rail line. We withdraw from this position here, so that's okay. I'll return to this position and just enter back into the city and just regain alignment, sorry, cohesion, and then we can see what we want to do there. We're obviously pushing him here. These guys are on the way. I thought they'd be heading to Kiev, but they're across the river here. That's 51 days to Kiev, apparently. Alright, not quite the positioning I wanted, not quite the direction I intended, but we'll go for that. I'll just go ahead and enter into the city, take the city, and then obviously below the rails. We do have Poltava, which is a size 6 city or a depot. That'd be a nice thing to take there. Alright. Okay. Yeah, so we had the Band of Doran. We achieved victory outside Edessa. Yeah. And that's very good. So, actually taking Edessa will be very good for us, and it will take a lot of state funds away from the Russians, because this is a size 7 trade port. You guys saw how our income dropped off after we gave this land to the Italians, when we lost Trieste. So you can imagine. Okay. So I have 878 additional state funds this turn. We're actually doing pretty damn good on conscripts. We've got everything in the bag in terms of resources, really. But once we do enter into the Maelstrom, that is the Western Front, things will change. We do have the snow seemingly melting over here, but I can't imagine the snow is going to be gone yet. But yes, things looking relatively good so far. Now, with this obviously being a winter turn, there's not that much to do. It's mostly just issuing a couple orders and continuing. Now, I could maybe move a corps over here to Minsk and have this army moved up over here, or even moved up over here. I probably would like to go for something of that nature. It would be important to take this rail line here, just to have another rail. But we do have some good... yeah, even if this line fell, we still have this line going up to the north there, so that's good. The Austrian's making progress here. I could maybe move on this position, but frankly, he's going to feel the heat from this positioning. I'm pretty sure he knows that the only reason we haven't advanced here has just been purely down to the winter. The Italians are at 35, okay. It's the first time I've seen a Western Entente diplomat here, so I'm not too sure. Maybe they've just been cursed. Are they... Russians are going to have... Oh, we're actually... Okay, so we're neck and neck with the Russians for tanks. I don't think the Russians are going to get much use out of tanks. They may be gone soon enough. But I'm frankly not too sure what's happened over here then, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure there. I've got to imagine that the Russians are still in this, but I guess we'll find out. Okay. Yeah. So I did release some guns at... Was it Breslau? Yes, it was Breslau. So I released some guns over here from Breslau. So we have A and B battery, then the new model of howitzer, which is good news. So we'll have that moved out here. What we're going to do then is... so we can see that another regiment has upgraded to the new model of howitzer. That's good. So even if the French and Russians, but particularly the French, even if the Western Entente, sorry, does gain level 3 artillery, it's not going to be immediately accessible to them. So that's good. Whereas at least we have a couple regiments of heavy artillery that has been upgraded. At least they'll make a difference. The problem is that the Western Entente is going to have superior infantry very soon. They're almost at level 3. I mean, we're not exactly far off level 3 either. I'm just frankly waiting on anything for me to boost that. Like, I've got the assault battalion there. But I guess we'll see. So I can't play the colonial event. Can't really do anything with Lenin. I don't think Lenin would even matter at this point in time. I don't know, I guess we'll see. Maybe it's a bug, maybe something happened for the Russians in terms of events, but really as far as it goes, once the winter subsided, we'd march on this objective. I mean, it's, we're obviously going to be taking Odessa soon. We have these forces that arrived over here in Finland, and then they'll be marching to take Helsinki, and then obviously we'll be pushing on towards like Petrograd. The Serbs are being left out here to starve, basically. We'll push on to Salonika, and then driving the Entente out. Yeah. I don't really know if there's any much more pain I can inflict on the Russians immediately. We won the Caucasus campaign by luck, I think. Yeah, we'd have that objective. The closest objectives then would be Riga, which we are trying to move towards. But yeah, it could also be a case that once we have Helsinki, I just send whatever minesweepers I can up here or something like that. nature, or even just send the forces up over here. It'd take a long time, really, but I don't know. If I could get some minesweepers over here to Helsinki and clear the mines out, then I could send things in. I probably would come into gunfire, maybe from Viborg. I don't know if Viborg has defenses, but I could maybe drop over there at Viborg, and then we'd march on Petrograd. It's a shame. I was hoping that we would have been able to have gotten Petrograd last year, but it's not to be. Not to be. But we have men moving to the west. So we have the army here on Kluck, which is 87,000 men, but they may take some casualties due to the winter. Yeah. And then we have 120, so it's about 200,000. Just shy of, obviously, 200,000 men there. And artillery moving there. Also, we do have a cavalry which should be moving. We should be due some infantry divisions being ready as well, shortly enough. We do have things moving. So if I go ahead and check on here again, the Western Entente is at 62% of our ground power. The Russians are at 30%, so they apparently gained something there, so we'll see. The Western Entente down to 77 morale. We've got 215,000 Russian prisoners. I can't help but imagine we probably have more at this point. We'll see. And the idea is we push on to Paris. If we could get Cairo, that would be great, but we'll see. Yeah. I hope we can try and drive him away. I think I still have the rebels ongoing over here. Yeah. We have the ongoing rebellion here in Morocco. So soon. I'm not seeing British forces over here yet. He may still be biding his time. He may choose to invade Germany again. And obviously invaded the Netherlands. I don't know if he go for the Netherlands again, but over here it could work. He did obviously succeed with that. The problem is, it's like, well, we're a little bit more ready for things of that nature. I think what I'm going to be doing here then is holding on to my war supply. If we're due to have tanks soon, I'd very much like to produce as many as I could, as quickly as I could, and rush them to the front as soon as we could there, really. But we're going to go ahead and leave off here. There's only a couple of things I need to do off camera, really. Everything is more or less on the go. A couple more mountaineers actually moving this way. They may actually be just superfluous at this point now, but we'll see. Yeah. So I think what I'll probably do is spend national morale maybe. I'm due. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I just stick here at 100. We're due the death of Ferdinand soon enough, which will tank our national morale. And maybe I spend some of that national morale and try to keep Austria in here. But then at 37, I've got to hope that once Russia goes, then that could help there, but I guess we'll see. You'd imagine that the Austrians would actually be pretty okay, considering the level of success. It's not as if, like, the Russians are going to be coming back. I mean, the Russians really are on a divided front now. We definitely have a clear delineation between a northern and southern front. And the difficulty is, the Russian army isn't as large as the combined German and Austrian armies. Obviously with the Romanians and Bulgarians. The Romanians are on the front line, the Bulgarians are not on the front line. But the Bulgarians could quite soon be on the front lines in the Eastern Front, if I so wish. Like, we could have the Bulgarians and Romanians, like, take up the centre slack. And have to actually bring about additional generals, but they could push up the centre. And the Ottomans are here, but obviously I've moved the Ottoman strength away. Yeah. It's not exactly looking ideal there. These mountain passes are pretty rough. Move them over there, then they can at least get on the rail line. That'd be far quicker. Mesopotamia, we're looking okay. But yeah, we'll go ahead and call it here. So thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents. Let's see on the state of the Austrian fleet. So still looking at a fairly lengthy repair time here. Yeah, fairly lengthy. I don't know if it actually seems to decrease or increase. I don't know if it's actually moving that way. Let's go ahead and check what we have in production. So divisions, obviously you can see that the ships in there. We've got heavy artillery in production too. A couple divisions there. Alright. So thanks for watching. I'm going to go ahead and ask Plumber about this situation with the Russians and just see what happens there. So thank you and goodbye. Take care, guys. Stay fantastic. See you next time.